Let's take a better look into the WFD family and the records they have broken. As we know, Johnny Rabb was the first to set a Guinness World Record for WFD with 1,071 beats per minute. In 2000, Tim Watterson set the first ever WFD foot record with a total score of 1,030 beats per minute. Art Verdi broke Johnny Rabb's record in 2001, thus setting two records, world's fastest hands and traditional grip. Verdi was the first to break 1,100. WFD World Finals were held at the Musicians Institute in Hollywood, California in 2002, kicking off what was an eventful year. When WFD hit the road for Warped Tour in 2002, a young man named Joe Tanafanador slid into first by breaking Verdi's record by 99 single strokes. A new year brought new faces to the WFD lineup. Seth Davis and Eric Okamoto tried for fastest hands and both came out with double-stroke accuracy records. WFD champs don't seem to have a limit when it comes to speed. In 2005, Mike Mangini, a professor at Berklee School of Music, became the first to break 1,200 beats per minute, and then also set the endurance records for feet for 5 minutes as well as 15 minutes, which gave Mangini a total of 5 WFD records. In 2006, new talent emerged in WFD. Matt Smith became the first in the 16 and under category to break 1,000. In 2007, Mike Millay achieved the title of fastest feet. Despite many attempts by other contestants, Millay's record still holds. Records were also set in the female category for hands by Lux and for feet by Caitlin Califas. A new kid named Tom Grosset became the new title holder for the 16 and under group by reaching a score of 1,194. Finally, Matt Smith came back and took one of Mike Mangini's titles in 2008 with 1,132 beats per minute. Matt came out in first and gained the world's fastest title for traditional grip. Through the years, WFD champs and contestants have had moral support and a great cheering section from the many Miss WFD spokesmodels. Many of these young women have gone on to careers in modeling and entertainment.
First time I met Boo, I had no clue who he was. He came up, started talking to me. I didn't know who this guy was. Because I really wasn't expecting this kind of Amish-looking guy. Big spectacles and long beard. But no, I like Boo a lot. I've known him for like more than 2 years now, so I'm kind of like part of the family when it comes to WFD. Oh, it's gotten a lot of like publicity like over the internet. Like I'm talked about. Like I'm not trying to like showboat, or anything. But that's what I'm basically known as. Matt Smith, world's fastest drummer.
What was the Warped Tour like? Well, it's the perfect name. First of all, you couldn't call that tour any Chaos Tour. Wouldn't have been anywhere close to what it's just a perfect name. Warped is a perfect name for this tour. We took WFD out, and every day we would set up at 7 a.m. in the morning, and the tour drummers would come down. And so it became an interactive on Warped. We'd set up the ring and everything. We were in like a 10 by 20 tent. And the tour drummers would come down and set a benchmark record, and the fans could come and try to beat their favorite tour drummer. So you had all these famous punk drummers on the tour, and they would set 900, 1,000, 800, whatever, as a benchmark, and the kids could try to beat that record. And it was just total, it's just insanity. It's a beautiful tour if you want to go, and there's just so much coming at you. We worked 12-hour days, and we'd set up at 7, we would tear down at 7, because it was our own business. It just wears you down to do that much work. We did 48 cities in 60 days, and you never get away from the noise or the It's just total insane. When you go back to the bus, it's not like owning your own bus, because you've got 500 kids that are out for the summer, and they've been told that they'll come and work on this tour. It's the greatest party. It's a 60-day party. Well, you know, for us, it wasn't a 60-day party. It was a 60-day tour to work. But we made it. We actually did suck it in, and we made all 48 days, or 48 cities in 60 days.
I sure hope not. It doesn't seem like it with animosity between any of the world's fastest drummer organization. There's been some folks on the outskirts that get upset and try to, you know, with anything else, say they're the fastest or whatever, and it's just kind of like, lighten up a little bit, it's fun, pass the torch on. No, all the guys inside the camp are just like psyched if somebody breaks a record. They you know, give each other hugs and be like, yeah, it's killer, good job. And
people come on drum forums and they'll just slam WFD. They'll just say just horrible things about Boo, me, Mangini, saying turning music into a sport and all that. Because that's the main thing about WFD right now, is like, is it sport or music? People are trying to like categorize it, and of course it's not music. I mean, it's a sport. It's for people to have fun with, you know.
I think that if folks are open-minded, and that's drummers, musicians of any kind, this is something that is a technical skill that will help you in your playing if used correctly. Definitely a lot of naysayers and stuff that think it's bogus, all this. We don't look at it that way at all. That's fine, then don't do it. But if you realize how many people came up, for example, on the Vans, the Warped Tour that Boo did, just out of the blue, that might not even ever play drums, they might play drums after it because it was so fun. So it's cool if they don't like it, but there's no harm in it at all. And most of the people I've seen that don't dig it, look at it as that after we get off the drumometer, we're also just going to go around all day on a gig and play, you know, 1,000 strokes on the kit and be like, hey, how'd you like that groove or whatever. You can separate it, and no, people need to calm down or whatever they're doing.
At Nashville Percussion Institute, we use the drumometer as a teaching tool in several different ways. But again, the drumometer doesn't gauge speed, because speed doesn't exist. The drumometer gauges technique. And so we would take the drumometer and we would have every student, we would set it at 10 seconds. And we'd have every student run single stroke roll, just right, left, right, left. So they run their singles at 10 seconds. So let's just say if a student runs in 10 seconds 120, we would move it to 30, move the drumometer setting to 30 seconds. That's 3 times 10. So where should he be? He should be at 360. 3 times 120 is 360. Well, if he didn't run 360, let's say he ran 320. Well, you can see there's a deficiency factor setting in within that particular 30-second period. Then we'd run him to 60 and see where he should be. He should be at 720. If he doesn't run, if he runs 600, you can see how it's going down. Just that atmosphere that started in an educational environment, and we started having fun with it, and it worked because it's such a gladiator. Drumming is so primitive and so primal. It's people would come, spectators would come and see the thing, and they would see the championship belt in the ring, and nobody said, well, what is that? That's stupid, that's dumb. You know, it was like when they saw it, it made sense. You know, if it was an oboe player or a violinist, maybe it wouldn't work. But drummers, you know, that whole no brain, no pain, see drum, hit drum mentality that drummers have, you know, they're like, oh yeah, this makes sense to us, you know, drummers in a wrestling ring, okay. So it worked.